I'm the flare like V. I'm the flare like V. Tonight I'm the flare. Fairy flare of the flare like V. I'm the fairy flare of the flare of the flare of the wildfire flare. Flare of the flare of the fire of the flare of the V. Fire of the flare of the V. I'm the fire's flare of the V. I'm the fire's flare of the V. The fire's flare, fire's flare, fire's flare of the V. The fire's flare of the V. The fire's flare of the V. The fire's flare of the V tonight. On the fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare, fire's flare, fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare. On the fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare. On the fire's flare of the V tonight. On the fire's flare. On the fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare of the V tonight. On the fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare of the V. The fire's flare. On the fire's flare of the V. 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 On the fire's flare. Fire's flare of the V. Fire's flare. Fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare of the V. On the fire's flare of the visible V. On the fire's flare of the wildfire V. On the fire. On the vital fire of the V like flare. V like flare. V like flare. V like flare. Flare. Flare.